Sometimes the biggest ideas in economics come from a really simple place. It's like looking at an old map of the world, seeing a huge blank spot, and having the guts to go draw in the missing continent. Well, that's pretty much what Christopher Pissarides did for our understanding of unemployment. So let's start with the central puzzle. It's a question that seems almost paradoxical, right? You see help wanted signs everywhere, companies are practically begging for people to apply. But at the same time, you've got millions of people who are out of work and actively looking for a job. So why can't they just find each other? For the longest time, the standard economic models just didn't have a good answer. Seriously, they kind of treated the job market like this perfect, super efficient machine where wages just magically adjust, and poof, everyone who wants a job gets one. In that perfect world, having lots of unemployment just didn't make sense. It was a glitch in the system that wasn't supposed to happen. So that's where we begin, with this massive puzzle, this giant blank spot on the economic map that showed a real gap in how we understood the way labor markets actually work. And the solution? Well, it required a totally new way of looking at the problem. It meant throwing out that idea of a perfect, frictionless machine and really digging into the messy reality of it all. The revolutionary idea was actually just common sense. It's called search frictions. All it means is that finding the right job or the right employee doesn't happen instantly. It takes time, right? It takes effort. It costs money. You've got to write resumes, go on interviews. Companies have to sift through tons of applications. This whole matching process is messy and imperfect, and that, it turns out, isn't a bug. It's a fundamental feature of the system. And this just nails the difference. The old view saw a perfect market with a few temporary problems. But the new search friction view, it says, no, frictions are baked into the system, and because of that, some unemployment is actually a natural, persistent thing. And here's the kicker, it's not just natural, it's what you get in a healthy, dynamic economy where new jobs are being created and people are trying to find a better match for their skills. This was such a huge shift in thinking that it earned Christopher Pissarides, along with his colleagues Peter Diamond and Dale Mortensen, the 2010 Nobel Prize in Economic Sciences. These three are the ones who built the framework that finally filled in that blank spot on our economic map. So how'd they do it? They created a powerful new blueprint for the labor market, something economists now just call the DMP model for Diamond, Mortensen, Pissarides. Now, while Diamond and Mortensen laid some absolutely crucial groundwork, Pissarides' key move was taking all these ideas about search and building them into a complete, dynamic model of the entire economy. And when we say dynamic, we mean it's a model that can actually show how things change over time, how a shock to the system or a new policy can ripple through the job market. The model itself basically tells a story from two sides. On one side, you have unemployed people deciding how hard they should look for a job. On the other, you have firms deciding if it's worth spending money to post a job opening. And when a worker and a firm finally connect, they don't just take some preset wage. Nope. They bargain over how to split the money they're going to make together. It puts all that messy, real-world stuff into one single coherent system. So the big takeaway is this. The DMP model shows us that unemployment isn't happening because workers are lazy or because the market is broken. It's the totally natural outcome of smart people and smart companies trying to make the best decisions they can in a world that's full of these frictions. It's kind of the price we pay for being able to find a really good fit. Okay, so every good map needs landmarks to prove it's actually showing you the real world. For the DMP model, the most important landmark was a pattern that people had seen in the data for years, but nobody could really explain. Until now. This is called the beverage curve, and the logic is super simple. When the number of open jobs, that's the vacancy rate, goes up, the unemployment rate should go down. It makes perfect sense, right? More jobs available, fewer people unemployed. But the question was, why does this relationship hold up so consistently? And this is where the DMP model was a total game changer. It provided the mathematical proof for why this curve exists. The core mechanics of the model, with firms creating jobs and workers searching for them, naturally produced this exact downward-sloping curve. It finally connected the theory to the real world. And here's the proof in the pudding. This chart is showing real data from the US labor market. And look at that. You can literally see the economy tracing out that classic beverage curve shape as it moves through good times and bad. The theory wasn't just elegant on paper. It actually matched reality. It worked. Even better, the model turned the beverage curve into a diagnostic tool, kind of like a doctor's chart for the economy. If the economy is just moving along the curve, That's probably just the normal ups and downs of the business cycle. But if the whole curve shifts outward, meaning you have high unemployment and a lot of job openings at the same time, that signals a deeper problem. It means the matching process itself has gotten less efficient. So you see, this was way bigger than just explaining one graph. This new map fundamentally changed the entire architecture of modern economics. It gave us a whole new set of tools to analyze the world and make policy. Because of the DMP framework, policymakers could suddenly ask these crucial what-if questions. What happens if we make unemployment benefits more generous? The model helps us see the trade-off between giving people a safety net and maybe reducing how hard they search. What about a hiring subsidy for businesses? The model gives us a way to figure that out too. And that's really why this matters so much. Pissarides' system took these huge debates out of the world of just, opinion and ideology and put them into the world of data-driven analysis. It gave governments a kind of laboratory to test how their policies might actually play out in the real world. And the impact has been enormous. Today, the DMP model is the absolute standard. It's the workhorse model used by central banks, governments, and economists all over the world whenever they need to understand the job market. So in the end, Pissarides and his co-laureates didn't just add a new theory to a textbook. No, they completely transformed the architectural map of modern economics. They proved that you could build serious mathematical models that actually embraced all the messy, real-world imperfections. And that new map is just invaluable because it gives all of us a clearer, more honest, and way more realistic picture of the economy we live in. A world that isn't perfect, but a world that we can now understand and hopefully navigate a whole lot better. Which leaves us with a final thought to chew on. Pissarides gave us the map to understand the frictions of his time, but what about tomorrow? With things like AI, remote work, and the gig economy totally reshaping how we work, what new frictions are emerging right now? And who's going to be the one to draw them on the map?